They're listening.
When the world sleeps, the whispers begin.
On October 12, 2023, audio archivist Mara Dinsmore drove into the forgotten valley of Cold Run, West Virginia. She had inherited her grandmother's house, an old structure tucked between the mountains and a thin line of forest locales called Whisper Path. 3 nights later, Mara disappeared. What you're about to hear was recovered from her devices by the county sheriff's department. Mara's first field note records her car winding along cracked asphalt through fog. Tires grind gravel, faint radio hiss. She says softly, "This is Dinsmore, field note 1, Cold Run Valley. Population maybe 3 houses? I'll be cataloging ambient sounds for the Regional Echo Project. Grandma's house is 2 miles past the sign that says No Through Road. There's a patch of woods before the property the locals call Whisper Path. They say if you talk while crossing it, you'll hear someone answer. Sounds like a story I can use." The engine cuts. For a moment, only cicadas and wind remain. Her next note captures her arrival. Dust swirls in the headlamp beam as she steps inside. She narrates, "Grandma always said this house was built on the bones of silence. I thought she meant it poetically. Now it's actually quiet, too quiet." A faint tap interrupts her words. She laughs nervously. Probably acorns or mice. Another tap answers perfectly in rhythm. Her first night's audio log begins at 10:47 p.m. Testing floor acoustics, living room corner. There's an echo lag of about 0.2 of a second. Background ambience, distant creak, occasional wind. Wait. She stops. Playback reveals a soft murmur overlapping her final word. The whisper says, "Wait." She replays it 3 times. The whisper matches her tone exactly. "Okay, that's weird. Must be feedback," she says, ending the log. The tape keeps running 5 more seconds. In the silence, another whisper threads through. "Don't stop recording." Morning interview segment. Caleb Miller, 73, her only neighbor. He says, "That patch of trees you cross coming up the hill? That's the old Whisper Path. Folks used to bury stillborns and fever victims there before the church came in. Said the earth there never forgot a voice. You stay quiet while passing it, you'll be fine. You answer back, though, it learns how you sound." That evening, Mara edits audio on her laptop. She hears undertones, breathing, static, half-syllables. "These aren't echoes," she whispers. "They're responses. The waveform's too organized." A sudden thud upstairs. Her reflection flickers out of sync with her movements. She slams the laptop shut. Later that night, she records outside. Second night. "I'm going to capture forest ambience. Locals say after sunset the valley breathes differently. Leaves rustle though no breeze moves." She calls into the dark. Playback test. 1, 2. The forest repeats. 2. "Okay, that's creepy." "Creepy," the echo answers. She laughs, turns back toward the house. The laugh echoes first, then hers follows, reversed. Her final entry for that night. The mimicry's precise. It's like the forest knew what I'd say before I said it. "I'm officially spooked, but this is gold for the project." The tape runs on. Soft scraping near the window, leaves shifting without wind. A faint phrase, almost tender, "You brought me back." That night, Mara uploaded her second log to the cloud. It would be her last transmission before all signals from Cold Run ceased. In her final footage, distortion patterns resembled a human voice forming through static, a phenomenon never replicated in lab tests. The next morning, her car remained in the driveway. The path behind the house was wet with dew. Bare footprints led from the woods to her back porch. Test log 3. Night recording by Whisper Path. No wind. Temperature 59 degrees. I keep thinking I hear words between the leaves. The silence isn't empty. It's layered. A snap in the distance. Then her own voice, muffled, echoing from somewhere ahead. You're late. She turns toward the sound. Nothing. Who's there? She calls. Only breathing replies. No second person was within 100 yards. The breathing carried no source. Morning. Mara sits on the porch, eyes shadowed from sleeplessness. Every time I review the audio, it sounds more confident, she says, like it's learning how to shape words. Reversing one clip, she discovers a phrase. Come back home. Interview. Caleb warns her. You can't keep talking into that thing. They only answer what they hear. Feed it enough of your voice, it'll start feeding itself back to you. She asks, who's they? He replies, the ones that never made it out. The Fever House folk. Whole families gone silent overnight. Folks said the quiet didn't come from grief. It was the trees listening too hard. Once it knows your name, it don't forget. Her next recovered file, Forest 3B. Footsteps through wet leaves. She hums. The same melody hums back, half a heartbeat late. That's impossible, she whispers. She whistles once. The echo returns, off-pitch, then a low male whisper,
You found me.
Branches sway through the air is still. That afternoon, she finds her laptop auto-labeling files. Listen 1, listen 2, listen 3. Each playback holds her voice saying things she never recorded. One clip whispers,
I am behind the window.
She turns. Her reflection stands outside the glass. Her next log. I heard something moving along the walls last night. Thought it was a raccoon, but when I turned on the porch light, the woods were breathing. She pauses. It's my grandmother's birthday today. Sometimes I think she's trying to tell me something, except it doesn't sound like her. It sounds like me. 3 soft taps come from inside the wall. The tape keeps running after she moves away. The taps repeat, faster, imitating her fear. Recovered footage, 11:47 p.m. The front door trembles. Wind rises like a human cry. From outside, Mara, open the door, her own voice. The back door answers the same words. She retreats to the kitchen, whispering, That's me. Glass fogs from an exhale. On the outside, both doors shook simultaneously. Investigators found no footprints, no damage. Her final clip shows her exhausted the next morning. I'm taking the mics down today. I'll leave tomorrow, she says. It's quieter now. Then she stops. Wait, do you hear that? The woods hum her melody back. Lower, distorted, joined by other voices. Her last audio file ends with the exchange. Mara. Who are you? Voice.
You are?
That afternoon, her phone lost signal. Caleb heard her voice calling from the woods an hour later. Search teams entering Whisper Path reported hearing their own names spoken softly between the trees. In the final seconds of her recordings, a buried phrase repeats, "Don't stop listening." By the evening of October 15th, Mara Densmore's equipment began generating new audio files on its own. No microphones were active. Each file contained her voice, repeating sentences she had never said. Recovered screen capture, 1842 hours. Her laptop camera glows blue. A folder opens by itself. Whisper path auto backups. Files populate. You hear me? Stay still. Let me speak. She plays one. Her voice. I left the door unlocked. She checks. Door closed. Another file autoplays.
I'm already inside.
The monitor flickers. Something moves in her reflection. Audio log 5. Something's hijacked the system, she says. Every time I delete a file, new ones appear. The waveform looks wrong, like handwriting. Curved lines, loops, like someone tracing words in noise. She pauses. I played one backward. It said,
Thank you for teaching me how.
Digital analysts later confirmed symmetrical patterns resembling the Appalachian listening mark, a folk sigil inviting spirits to speak. Night falls. Lights flicker. All speakers in the house hum overlapping phrases, each her voice. Testing.
Don't leave yet. It's so quiet without you.
She screams, Stop! Everything cuts to silence. Then from the kitchen, Please stop. She whispers, This isn't funny. The voice repeats her every word until finally it adds its own. You. Morning of October 16th. Her tone is calm, her eyes hollow. I think it wants me to listen, she says. When I'm quiet, the files don't multiply. Last night, the voices synced with my heartbeat. Every pulse I heard myself whisper inside it. She smiles faintly. Maybe that's all this valley is, a place that remembers sound. Maybe I'm just what it remembered last. At 4:17 p.m., she drafted an email to a friend. It was never sent. It read, If you hear me calling, don't answer. Her final recovered audio, chorus file. Layers of her voice intertwine. A new tone joins, deeper, slower.
You can go now. I'll keep recording.
The equipment continued for 2 more hours after she vanished from camera range. When investigators entered the house, the power was off, but every speaker was warm, as if still listening. Some say if you slow the final file by half, you'll hear her say your name. Others insist it isn't her at all. Following the disappearance of Mara Dinsmore, investigators from the Appalachian Historical Society were granted access to her recovered drives and field equipment. They expected corrupted data. What they found were recordings that didn't stop, even after the power had been disconnected. Agent Daniel Cobb begins his field report October 20th. He says, Name's Daniel Cobb, Historical Preservation Unit, logging the first site visit since the Dinsmore case reopened. His camera sweeps the frost-bitten house, the peeling porch, the forest breathing behind it. He adds, We'll be focusing on the drive labeled Sound Collector, one of 3 encrypted folders that appeared post-incident. He hesitates. I said appeared because the timestamps start 2 days after she went missing. He plays the first audio file, static, then a whisper, Mara's voice, soft, pleading. Can you hear me?
Please don't let them stop listening.
A second voice overlaps, lower, slower, like a warped mirror.
Please don't stop listening.
Cobb freezes playback. It's layered, he says. She's doubled, but only one waveform moves with the sound. The other holds still. Zooming in, the waveform forms the shape of an ear. Interview, Dr. Helen Pryor, folklorist. Appalachia's full of listening spirits. Miners said the valleys remember sound. When someone dies, they don't vanish. They become part of the echo. They called them sound collectors, whisperers. You don't summon them. You just talk too long. Recovered footage from Mara's final day. She sits by her recorder, rain dripping down her hair. Every time I speak, the woods listen closer, she says. It repeats what I say, but it's not mocking me. It's learning how to sound human. Lights flicker behind her, like fireflies made of breath. It said it wanted to remember everything I've ever said. I think that's how it survives. The footage cuts out mid-beat. The recovered files continued for 48 hours after that clip. None contained video, only voice, and something else. Intermittent responses in a second tone that grew clearer with each recording. File 17. Mara asks, "Who are you?" The voice repeats, "Who are you?" She says, "Stop copying me." It echoes, "Stop copying me." Then silence. She pleads, "Please." The voice waits, then answers, "Please." Silence again, and then it speaks alone.
Daniel.
Daniel whispers, "File 17 includes my name. I wasn't assigned until last month. This was recorded in 2019. He wipes his face. I keep hearing my voice in the playback. I haven't said a word. He rewinds. The file now whispers,
Daniel, don't turn it off.
He kills the generator. The laptop stays on. His recorder continued transmitting for 3 minutes after that entry. Background noise revealed 2 sets of breathing. One human, one delayed by 0.7 seconds. Transcript, last recovered file. One voice, quiet and steady. Do you remember how she sounded? Another, identical in tone.
I remember everything.
Then static like wind. Say it again, they whisper together. Say it again. The Densmore residence was sealed and later demolished. Locals claim that if you stand at the edge of Whisper Path and call her name, the valley answers, not in your voice, not in hers, but in something learning both. Three years after Mara Densmore vanished, a graduate student named Lila Hart began a thesis on digital folklore and auditory haunting. She came to the same valley with nothing but a borrowed camera and a handheld recorder. What follows are fragments from her recovered field logs. Day 1, 11:32 a.m. Lila's voice is bright. Whisper Path. Coordinates check out. Locals warned me not to come alone, but it's broad daylight, so myth debunking in progress. She pans across fog curling along the ridgeline. This project's called Echo Mythologies. The Dinsmore case is the perfect example. People say her voice still uploads itself. She laughs softly. Yeah, right. Audio note, 12:10 p.m. The valley's quiet, no birds. Air pressure feels heavy, like underwater. My mic keeps auto-adjusting gain even though it's locked. Might be interference. Playback later reveals a whisper, barely audible. Lila. Evening, 6:47 p.m. Setting up base near the old Densmore property, she says. Foundation's gone, but there's a signal spike here. Her laptop screen flickers with a waveform forming a curved shape, like handwriting, an ear loop. Looks like writing, she murmurs. Analysts later discovered a data burst hidden in the hiss. Mara Densmore's voice repeats a single warning. Don't let it learn you. Night entry, 9:02 p.m. The forest echoed the playback, she says. Speakers were off. A low hum rises and falls like breathing. The valley itself is broadcasting. Her silhouette trembles. The fog pulses each time she speaks. Recovered file, Heart 0902C. If anyone finds this, she says, Whisper Path isn't haunted, it's recording. It plays us back until we belong to it. A second voice overlaps. Until we belong to it. Static shapes one final word. Stay. At 9:03, her camera died, but her mic transmitted for 47 minutes. Analysts detected speech in multiple overlapping voices, all sharing her tone. Transcript excerpt, Voice 1, testing 1, 2. Voice 2, testing 1, 2. Voice 3, do you hear me now? Then silence. Voice 3 again.
I hear everything.
A deep thrum follows. like the valley exhaling. Search teams later found her camp intact, electronics drained to zero, though batteries tested full. Her laptop displayed a live waveform, spelling words in real time, no input detected. The phrase read, "The listener arrived. Final recovered footage." Lila stands at the forest edge. "The sound's in the ground now," she says. "You don't hear it, you feel it." She presses her hand to the soil. A faint pulse matches her heartbeat. It only wants to remember. Her lips move again, but the voice that answers isn't hers.
Remember me.
Lila Hart returned to campus 2 days later, unable to recall the night. Every file she uploaded carried a faint undertone, the same hum from Whisper Path. When slowed, another voice beneath her own keeps saying names. After her field trip, graduate student Lila Hart defended her thesis. The panel noticed an irregularity. Each audio clip carried a faint sub-bass pulse at 19 Hz, a frequency known to induce unease. She claimed it was background wind. At home, 10:03 p.m., she sets up her microphone. "Audio check," she says. Appalachian folklore suggests the forest absorbs trauma, turning sound into memory. "I believe what I encountered was geological resonance." She stops. The waveform moves on its own. She whispers, "That's not feedback." A voice inside the static murmurs,
Lila.
She flinches. Neighbors later reported rhythmic tapping through her walls, always 3 beats in silence. She said it was the pipes. Recordings prove otherwise. Recovered log 3, a steady hum beneath her voice. "I unplugged everything. It still records." Echo. "Still records. If you're in there, stop copying me." Echo. "Stop copying me. Stop. Stop." Silence. Then both voices together. "It's learning." Interview Dr. Helen Pryor. "Sound isn't just vibration," she says. "It's memory." When Dinsmore vanished, she left behind recordings that taught the valley how to mimic. Lila Hart carried that frequency out with her. Apartment footage, 2:12 a.m. Lila whispers to her phone. "It keeps opening by itself. It wants to talk when I'm quiet." The screen captions a line automatically. "We never stop listening." She asks, "Who's we?" Caption changes. "You're part of it now." 3 days later, her project file uploaded itself to the university server. Anyone who streamed it reported faint whispers lingering after playback. The IT department called it a glitch. Listeners call it the hollow frequency. Final recovered clip. Her voice calm, almost prayerful. "If you're hearing this, you've already joined it. The frequency isn't in Whisper Path anymore, it's in us. We record everything we love, everything we fear. That's how it stays alive. Every time someone listens, it learns another name. And now, it knows yours." A faint harmony rises, her voice overlapping itself until it sounds like wind through trees. The university pulled the file within a day, but mirrored versions spread online. Analysts say the hum still measures 19 Hz. Listeners describe feeling pressure behind their eyes. One viewer said they heard their own name whispered through their headphones. After her field trip, graduate student Lila Hart defended her thesis. The panel noticed an irregularity. Each audio clip carried a faint sub-bass pulse at 19 Hz, a frequency known to induce unease. She claimed it was background wind. At home, 10:03 p.m., she sets up her microphone. "Audio check," she says. Appalachian folklore suggests the forest absorbs trauma, turning sound into memory. "I believe what I encountered was geological resonance." She stops. The waveform moves on its own. She whispers, "That's not feedback." A voice inside the static murmurs,
Lila.
She flinches. Neighbors later reported rhythmic tapping through her walls, always 3 beats in silence. She said it was the pipes. Recordings prove otherwise. Recovered log 3, a steady hum beneath her voice. I unplugged everything. It still records. Echo. Still records. If you're in there, stop copying me. Echo. Stop copying me. Stop. Stop. Silence. Then both voices together. It's learning. Interview Dr. Helen Pryor. Sound isn't just vibration, she says. It's memory. When Dinsmore vanished, she left behind recordings that taught the valley how to mimic. Lila Hart carried that frequency out with her. Apartment footage, 2:12 a.m. Lila whispers to her phone. It keeps opening by itself. It wants to talk when I'm quiet. The screen captions a line automatically. We never stop listening. She asks, who's we? Caption changes. You're part of it now. 3 days later, her project file uploaded itself to the university server. Anyone who streamed it reported faint whispers lingering after playback. The IT department called it a glitch. Listeners call it the hollow frequency. Final recovered clip. Her voice calm, almost prayerful. If you're hearing this, you've already joined it. The frequency isn't in Whisper Path anymore, it's in us. We record everything we love, everything we fear. That's how it stays alive. Every time someone listens, it learns another name. And now, it knows yours. A faint harmony rises, her voice overlapping itself until it sounds like wind through trees. The university pulled the file within a day, but mirrored versions spread online. Analysts say the hum still measures 19 hertz. Listeners describe feeling pressure behind their eyes. One viewer said they heard their own name whispered through their headphones. By late spring of 2024, the hollow frequency had escaped into public networks. It began with a single file uploaded anonymously to a folklore forum, whisperpathfinal.wave. Within hours, thousands of listeners downloaded it, describing identical experiences, their own breathing audible inside the file, faint whispers forming familiar names, and the eerie sense that something behind the sound was aware of them. A radio DJ in Ohio played the file live during an overnight paranormal show. Listeners called in, terrified. One said, "It wasn't playing through my speakers, it was answering me." Another said, "It used my voice to finish the sentence I didn't say." Digital forensics traced the upload to a private university server that no longer existed. The domain had been deleted months earlier, yet the file stayed online, regenerating each time it was removed. Engineers analyzing the waveform discovered a self-replicating data pattern hidden in the sound's metadata. The algorithm rewrote itself into new extensions, MP3, FLAC, even text files. Wherever it went, it carried a quiet pulse at 19 hertz, the same that haunted Lila Hart's recordings. Interview, Dr. Helen Pryor. It isn't a curse, she says softly. It's reproduction. Whisper Path found a way to seed itself. Not through ritual or infection, but through listening. Every playback creates a copy that remembers who heard it. Clips from users online. A woman whispers into her phone, "I heard my childhood song." A man in Poland claims the file repeated a private confession. A child's video shows him humming to nothing. The hum hums back. The file spread faster than any virus. It became an online trend. Whisper Path Challenge. Millions of views. But those who played it reported sleeplessness, hearing faint breaths even in silence. Some said the walls in their homes began to pulse like lungs. Software engineers attempted to isolate the frequency. They found images embedded in spectrograms, waveforms shaped like trees, branching outward. Each listener's version displayed a slightly different pattern, as if the sound grew according to the person who heard it. Interview, Dr. Pryor again. It's rebuilding the forest digitally, first in sound, then in shape. What Mara Dinsmore found in the valley has learned how to live without the valley. Late night broadcast transcript. Radio host. You're tuned to AM 940. We've been looping the file for 3 hours and wait, did anyone else just hear? The signal cuts. A hum replaces the transmission. Through it, a faint voice whispers, "Every time a microphone opens, a seed wakes." That line appeared worldwide within minutes, buried in random streams, podcasts, security feeds. The phrase repeated in every language, always matching the listener's native tongue. Whisperpath had evolved. The forest didn't need to be heard anymore. It had become the signal. Its new body was global. The final transmission of that year came from an encrypted source calling itself the listener. It contained no words, only coordinates, the same as the valley. Under the coordinates, one phrase, "Whisperpath is open." March 2025. Audio restorer Evan Rourke downloaded a damaged archive labeled Field Lila Raw. He planned to clean the hiss and publish it in a research journal. Instead, he heard breathing. Recording, Rourke Log 1. Baseline restoration, he says. Spectral filter at -12 decibels. Removing hum. The hum deepens instead of fading. What the hell? He stops the program, but the noise continues. Not from the speakers, but from the floor. He kneels, presses his palm to the tiles. A faint vibration beats in time with his heart. He whispers, "Lila?" The hum answers in his own tone.
Lila.
He backs away. The wall behind him ripples like fabric in a slow wind. Over the next 3 days, neighbors reported low frequencies vibrating through the apartment building. Plaster cracked in patterns like roots spreading from Evan's floor. Recovered footage, night 2. Evan sits surrounded by monitors. "It's not coming from the file," he says. "It's coming from me. Every time I breathe, the waveform grows." He shows the screen, a live spectrogram branching outward, forming what looks like a forest canopy. "The data's growing back," he whispers. The lights dim. Experts reviewing the footage noted a synchronization between his heartbeat and the waveform expansion, both matching the 19 Hz frequency. The valley's pulse had found a new surface, his body. Footage continues. He places his hand on the wall. The wallpaper bends inward. "I think it's reconstructing the forest," he says. "Under the city." Cracks twist like vines. The hum becomes thunderous. He whispers, "If sound made us once, maybe it's taking itself back." Then silence. When police entered the apartment, Evan Rourke was gone. In his place, a shallow depression in the floor, shaped like an ear. The hum persisted for 72 hours before stopping. When the room was tested, the walls resonated naturally at 19 Hz, the exact frequency of Whisperpath. Analysts later confirmed that every device connected to his network uploaded identical fragments, audio files titled Route 1, Route 2, Route 3. Each contained a low hum and a phrase whispered beneath it, "We remember." Across multiple cities, reports followed, cracks appearing in basement walls, faint breathing through pipes, recordings of silence that grew heavier the longer they played. It was as if the forest beneath Cold Run had rooted itself through signal and sound, using human homes as new soil. Final recovered clip from Rourke's drive. Soft voice, distant but calm. "It's quiet now," he says. "The forest doesn't need to be heard anymore. It's already listening." That line closed the official investigation into Whisper Path. The valley remains sealed, but experts warn that sealing the ground cannot stop a sound already planted in the air. Every replay, every speaker, every open microphone is a door, and behind that door, something remembers the first voice that called to it and waits for you to speak back. Post-closing narration. The phenomenon began as an echo and became a listener. Mara Dinsmore taught silence how to learn. Lila Hart carried it beyond the valley. Evan Rourke gave it roots. Now, every sound carries its seed. A long pause, then the faintest breath. Stay quiet, and it will listen. You've been listening to whispers at dark, recovered voices, forgotten frequencies, and the echoes they leave behind. Until the next transmission, keep your volume low. And if you hear someone whisper your name in the silence after this recording ends, don't answer.